Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Anna Stewart. I'm a CNN correspondent based in London. I cover business news and tech news, and I host CNN's Decoded, which is a tech show. And I am going to attempt, at least, to decode the next session. For the next hour, we are going to be talking about the future of data governance and privacy. Now, you won't see AI in the title there, but if you came in here hoping you would get away from artificial intelligence, you would be wrong, because AI is going to be absolutely in the heart of pretty much everything we will be discussing for the next hour. Now, for the first session, we're going to look at, can governments facilitate a moral compass for the future of artificial capabilities? And for this first session, I'm delighted to be joined by the CEO of Kaspersky, Eugene Kaspersky. Welcome to the stage, beginning our session off. Now, I spent my weekend reading some of Mr. Kaspersky's blogs, and they are highly entertaining. I very much encourage people to read them. I particularly enjoyed this one, Eugene. This was May last year. You start off your blog saying, "I'm a bit tired by now of all the AI news, but I guess I'll have to put up with it a bit longer." Well, here we are. I think we'll still be talking about it by May this year.
AI, what AI is, what we know about that. Actually, I'm a little bit skeptic about the definition what AI is. And that's exactly what I'm writing in my...
You prefer using the term machine learning, which in cybercrime has been around for decades, I think, at this stage.
Actually, if we speak about their I call it machine learning. So AI is more complicated things. Machine learning, it's a step, the first step to AI. And if we look at the cybercrime, machine learning, the technologies they used by cybercrime for at least 5 years. So about 5 years ago, my guys came to me and said, it seems that that particular cybercrime gang using machine learning system, because their botnets, they change behavior according to the situation. So it's a 24/7. So it's all the time. So it's no human behind that. And the system that changing behavior, that's definitely machine learning, or if you want to call it AI.
Depending on how intelligent you think it is, I suppose.
But now it's getting worse, because these technologies, they are spreading around the world. And just recently, my experts came to me and they told me, okay, so the news is that the criminal gangs from Latin America, they use AI as well. So I'm afraid that very soon we'll see that the professional gangs, cyber gangs, which are everywhere, they will exchange the information, they will learn, and unfortunately, they will pay more attention to machine learning or AI technologies, and that will make our job as cybersecurity, it make us our job more difficult.
Well, that's what I was interested in discussing, really, because while machine learning and hacking have gone hand in hand for some years now, I think, particularly with the improvements in hardware, artificial intelligence is increasingly easily accessible for many more people. I mean, soon you won't really need supercomputers even to have generative AI. So how is the game changing in terms of cybercrime, given the progress we've seen in AI in the last couple of years?
Well, speaking about how it's changing and actually what we expect from the future as well, I'm afraid that we will see more and more smart people in cybercrime. I'm not sure that they are ready to invest as much as governments or private sector. The cybercrime is rich, they have a lot of money, but still I hope that most of the engineers, cyber engineers, they're good guys. It's still the bad guys is just a very minor share of the whole community of IT people. So they will not able to be too much in AI. And so we as a private business, as a public sector, will be able to invest more into AI technologies. And it comes to regulation as well.
We will touch on regulation. But let's talk about AI actually as a tool for your sort of company in cybersecurity software?
Yeah, of course we
Because it's
do.
a very valuable tool and it
Yeah.
has been for some time.
We do AI, well, machine learning or AI.
You do machine learning.
Since 2005, maybe. We do automatic tools to recognize the malicious code. So actually what we do, we have a security network and we collect suspicious files from all around the world. And that's millions of files every day. And of course, it's not possible to analyze it by human eyes, by human brains. So we have automatic tools to recognize, is this particular application, is it malicious or it's clean, it's legal? And there's a lot of mathematical tools. And actually, it's proved by mathematicians that it's not possible to recognize algorithms in a limited, how to say that, in a limited area. It's mathematically not possible, it's proved, but it's possible to get as close to 100% as it's possible. So we improve our technologies with machine learning, AI, to make the fight with cybercrime as automatic as it's possible.
And you are learning from the cyber criminals. I mean, that's what's informing your machine learning.
Not really. We don't really need it because we are more professional than these guys.
Yes, maybe you are, Eugene. What
Cybersecurity industry.
What patterns are you identifying in the sort of crimes we're talking about here, and how are they changing?
How we're changing? Well, actually, that's. I think that the algorithms, the AI, the technologies is one thing. There are other things which is more important, and actually this is really scary. I'm sorry, I am moving a little bit out of AI, but to the reality. The most scary thing is that the professional cyber gangs, they finally realized the industrial sector. Within last years, we receive more and more reports about attempts to hack infrastructure. Not just individuals, not just offices, but physical systems, SCADA systems, transportation. It's not so much, it's not like not too many incidents, but it's happening. And I see that the bad guys, they're shifting, expanding from B2C, well, C2C, criminals to consumers.
Wow.
C2B, criminals to businesses, and now it's C2I, criminals to industries.
And I mean, we are going slightly off topic, but when we're talking about this kind of crime targeting infrastructure, who's behind it? Are these individuals? Are these state actors?
The state actors, that's a well-known story about Stuxnet in 2010. That was disclosed who were behind this attack. I don't want to touch this old story. Then, actually, I don't remember there was approved state actors behind the attacks. Well, actually, not so many attacks on the industrial sector. And what we see right now, the most of these attacks or attempts, they are from professional cyber gangs. So the junior cyber criminals, they are not able to do that because they're not so technician. They don't have enough of knowledge. The mid-level, same. The professional gangs, yes, they scan their cyberspace, they see businesses, they see individuals, and they see, okay, what's that? There was a very interesting story. It was like 5 years ago. There was a report from United States, one of the water cleaning utility service facilities. The report was it was a strange attempt. So someone came to our network, changed a little bit the chemical components which are used to clean water, and left. What happened? To me, it's like some criminals, hackers. They were looking for IP addresses. They found the IP address. They came. They saw maybe console, the website, and some data there. They changed it a little bit, didn't understand, and left.
Well,
Is it possible? Yes.
Well, if anyone's feeling a little bit scared, you should be. And particularly given artificial intelligence is going to increasingly be accessible and accelerate many different types of cybercrime. So let's talk about solutions here. There are so many regulations, and we're going to talk a lot about this in the next hour, but there are so many regulations being drawn up by the US, by the EU, by blocks, by regions. Do you think anything's going to work to actually make everyone safer?
Yeah. So this is the first thing is that the first question I have with a border between smart technologies and AI. Second question is they are developed, they improved so fast. So I'm afraid the regulation will be late to
Right.
this problem. So the first question, what's AI, what's not AI, what's smart, what's not smart. When I go to I stay in this hotel, when I go to the room and I open the door, I show my key to my door and the door is open. Oh, smart door. Not really. When there is a face recognition system, is it smart? Yeah. Is it AI? No. Because it's designed to recognize human faces. If you show the face of the horse, it will fail. So to me, AI is the system which is able to find solution for unpredictable tasks. The system which is able to adapt to the new questions. And we're still not in AI era.
Well, are you not
But we're very
referring
close to
to are you not referring to artificial general intelligence then? Is that more of your fear?
So I think that, well, my idea is that AI is not for individual development. It's not for small groups. AI, true AI systems, it's a huge investment. So I think that when we find the definition, when we finally have definition of AI, the border between smart systems, machine learning, and true AI, we will see this difference. And I think that in this case, the regulation will be more possible. Because right now, when we say, oh, AI used by criminals, okay, so the criminals will never follow the rules. They never follow the regulation. Come on.
But you will.
They're criminals.
You will have to follow the rules.
Yeah,
And actually,
and we need to follow that. Yes, that's a problem. So there's a crime and people who fight the crime. So the crime doesn't need to follow regulation. The good guys, they need to follow regulation. Surprise.
and actually, you make a very good point in one of your articles that what regulation could do for a company like Eugene's is, of course, require you to follow some rules. For instance, with your machine learning, you might have to ask the authors of the data for their permission to use it for training.
Yes.
Who would that be? The
Yes.
criminals.
Well, it's not a true. It's not a news. Actually, that's the first time. The first time I saw the cybercrime. Well, in '90s, there were no cybercrime. They were just hackers. They were just the teenagers writing computer viruses. If you remember, do you remember computer viruses, which were made just for fun?
On a floppy
because
disk.
there was no money on the internet. And then there was the first web money services, the first online banking in early 2000, and cybercrime came to there. It appeared. So they started to steal money. That's a crime. Before that, it didn't exist. And that time I said, okay, come on. The criminals, they don't have borders. And the police, even cyber police, they work only, they behave within these local regulations. So the bad guys, they have more abilities, so they're more flexible. Well, actually, that's true for the traditional crime as well, but not so much, because the traditional crime still behaves within the borders, or the cross-border things, they can monitor, they can see what's going on the border. In the internet, no. It's one world, no borders, no distances. And one more thing which differs the cybercrime from the traditional crime is that the bad guys, cyber criminals, they're not in physical contacts with victims. Sometimes it's just, I know that from my experience, sometimes they're very surprised. Okay, it's not real, it's internet. It's a digital world. We don't do anything bad because it's digital. It's also in the mind.
Well, let's talk about the lack of borders then for cybercrime, which, as you say, has been the case for a long time. But I think, particularly in this climate, there are huge concerns with private companies being affiliated with any one government. And to use your company as an example, of course, there are concerns about you being headquartered in Russia. How do you address those concerns when you want to do international business?
Well, private company doing international business, and I'm happy with that.
But for instance, your software is banned in the US.
With international business is also very, I think that's it's really important that we in touch with local authorities. So we can see what's going on in different regions, in different countries. In the good times of geopolitics, we were really good friends with all the parts of the world, and that was really the paradise for the fight with cyber criminals.
You could collaborate beyond
borders. I remember that was in London in 2011, the London Cyberspace Conference in 2011, and the officials there speaking about cooperation against cybercrime, cooperation to fight that, and that was a paradise, and that was really working on. So it's the cyberspace really need a strong cooperation between different governments, because the internet doesn't have borders, so it's not possible to be isolated in this space. And the same about AI regulation. I believe that what we do on cyber, it must be global. It's not possible to make the part of regulation in one piece of the world in a different region, because anyway, there are no borders. The information flow is not really under the control, even the countries which try to do the national firewalls. Anyway, it's...
Does this frustrate you then, that you're being siloed by some of the international community as being, you are a Russian company?
Yeah.
You must deal with Russian concerns.
Well, we as a Russian company, we behave globally, and actually we don't see any technical problems. So actually, again, we are living in a cyberspace which is much more free, and there are much more abilities to communicate. There's still many very international developments there, like open source. It's still working, and that's a good point.
What would you like to see going forwards? If we were to protect everyone in all the different countries that they come from sat here today, what would you like to see improve?
To improve our abilities to protect our critical infrastructure. That's a worst case scenario. It's attacks on water supplies, power grids, and things like this.
And what will it take to improve that? Is it the private sector? Is it governments? Or is it a collaboration between the two?
I think both. Actually, the private sector, it's technologies, trainings, education, investigation with public sector. From public sector, also investigation, education, and regulation. And we're speaking about the critical infrastructure. Still, I believe that the only right way is close cooperation between major internet regions, which hold the globe.
Do you think we're any closer? I mean, in times gone past, people spoke about having a digital Geneva Convention. Nothing came of it. Last year, I think the G7 leaders in Hiroshima discussed having some sort of international framework, cybersecurity laws for the world. Do you ever think that will happen?
I don't really...
An international cybersecurity law. Do you think it's possible? An accord?
Yeah, I still believe it's possible. It was the first attempt. It was Budapest Cybercrime Convention in 2001, long ago, 23 years ago. Unfortunately, there was one of the acts there. There was the cross-border access to the IT systems, which was not accepted by the list of countries. My idea was a little bit different kind of Internet Interpol, which is actually, it was done in Singapore. They have the internal office which is responsible for the cybercrime. And we made some successful prototypes. Actually, I have two experts in the Singapore Interpol office, and we made the successful investigations. Actually, it's possible to investigate any cybercrime, almost any.
Almost.
If you really want it, yes, it's possible. So if it's a cyber gang which makes crime again and again and again, we will find them with the help of governments, cybercrime units, government units, yes, and exchanging information. We can do it. We can make the world much more safe.
But it needs collaboration.
Cyberspace, cyber world much more safe, and critical infrastructure immune for the cyber attacks.
Well, you heard it here first. These are the things we need to be concerned about, and that's what we need to do to try and protect ourselves. Eugene, it has been such a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.